Part 106. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1051. Chapter 1051. Kincha will be over sooner or later. Zihu pursed his lips and played with his fingers nervously. I just don't know if he can accept it. If he can't accept it, can anything be changed by saying it later? 11 Ju was stunned by what Yu Lingfeng said. He didn't know how to refute. Yu Lingfeng was always so to the point, and he didn't even have the slightest chance to refute. Yu Lingfeng lowered his eyes and said while repairing 11 Ju's parts, "It's better to talk about this kind of thing earlier. His secondary disease will at most make him feel terrible and unacceptable for a while, but he will never do it because of it." Leaving you? Really? Zihu himself didn't have much confidence and spoke in a low voice. "You will know if it is true or not, just try it." 11 Ju sighed and was non-committal. After Qian Yanjia went back, he almost turned over and smashed everything in his room to pieces. Except for Hami Melon, no one else dared to disturb him. Hami Melon knocked on the door, but the next second, he heard a sharp "Get out." Hamagiwa shrugged his shoulders angrily, and then said, "The gang leader, it's me, Hamagiwa." Roll. It is still a word with no warmth at all. Hami Melon sighed, then turned and left. When Hamagiwa walked to the hall, everyone in the hall stared at him. Hami Melon spread his hands and said helplessly, "I can't help it." Everyone sighed. What happened to the gang leader? Didn't the gang leader go to Yu Lingfeng for revenge? He was the man who killed our 3 top killers. In this case, I guess that person is probably angry with the gang leader. I think there is nothing the gang leader can do against that person. If the gang leader had the upper hand, that person's head would have been raised long ago. Now that the gang leader is angry alone, he should have lost. Are you kidding? Who is the gang leader? The number 1 killer. If he can't do anything to that man, then who can do anything to him? Okay, stop talking about it, be careful the gang leader comes out to train you. The group of people under the cantaloupe became more and more cheerful when they saw it, and they immediately stopped them. The group of people below who were having a heated discussion stopped. They looked at each other, although their mouths did not move, but what they wanted to say was all in their eyes. By the way, Hami Melon, why haven't you caught the witch who killed the enchantress? At this time, the crowd asked questions. Hamagiwa rolled his eyes at the man. How dare you ask? Isn't this matter left to you to handle? You can't find it yourself, why are you asking? We just want to know if you have any clues. The man's tone suddenly weakened. If I look at it, I probably won't be able to find it in my lifetime. Said with a cold face and sarcastically, and also omitted the sentence in his heart that he dared not say out loud, sooner or later, Kincha will be over. Since the new gang leader took over the throne in Kincha, the new gang leader has not shown up. Now that something like this happened to Kincha again, but there is no solution at all, who is not anxious and will not question the ability of the gang leader? Len Mian, have you forgotten how the last person who said such depressing words died? Hami Melon said sharply. Hami Melon stopped talking, but his face still showed reluctance. The last person said, sooner or later Qian Sha will be over, and then he was slapped to death by Qian Yanju. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1052. Chapter 1052. The war between her and Xia Ying has begun. After listening to Len Mian, he let out a dissatisfied hum sound from his nasal cavity, then closed his mouth and said no more. Kincha is not just the gang leader's Kincha, but the Kincha of all of us. If you want to see Kincha return to the glory of Yuki Jueshin back then, the efforts of the gang leader alone are definitely not enough. Every one of you must contribute. Hami Melon said with cold eyes, teaching. Yes. The following is a chorus of replies. The annual grand ceremony is approaching, and Xiao Ran is still ahead of Xia Ying in the list of national goddesses, and the difference in votes is quite large. It can be seen how successful Xiao Ran's marketing is, and she is really determined to compete with Xia Ying for this honor. She was the national goddess last year because Xiao Ran was not here yet. Now, she is the most popular female star in the entertainment industry. Xiao Ran is now showing love in various ways, running variety shows, donating money, showing off his beautiful nature and good character. Moreover, the company has also issued a large number of press releases praising Xiao Ran. In short, there is not a day that goes by that he is not in front of netizens. Towards the end of the year, Xiao Ran accepted several more plays and movies, and she also received invitations from various big-name directors. Now it all depends on her own choice. Xiao Ran is now in the entertainment industry, not to mention how famous he is. Xiao Ran's fans have also been successfully brainwashed. Anyone who says anything bad about Xiao Ran will immediately pick up the keyboard and fight for 300 rounds until they press the opponent's head and apologize. As a celebrity, there are bound to be all kinds of dark history revelations. Previously, someone secretly and anonymously revealed that Xiao Ran had a bad temper and bullied actresses in the same crew before she became famous. Xiao Ran did not come forward, but her fans immediately tore her apart and apologized. Because all the three-dimensional information of the other party was found out, and Xiao Ran was beaten and intimidated by Xiao Ran's fans when he went out. I really couldn't live like this anymore, so I apologized and announced my permanent withdrawal from the entertainment industry. This incident made a big fuss, and everyone saw from this incident how strong the fighting ability of Xiao Ran's fans was, and they were completely superhuman. From the perspective of fans, how could Xiao Ran, who has a perfect image of donating money and showing love every day, performing well on variety shows but being polite and not stealing the spotlight, respecting his seniors and taking care of his juniors, do such a thing? In the eyes of fans, Xiao Ran is their white moonlight cinnabar mole, which no one can tarnish. As for those who criticize her, they have pink eyes and deserve not to be scolded and beaten. Xia Ying and Xiao Ran were originally unable to hit each other, but because of Xiao Ran's Weibo, a work that I like very much. Although I can't play the heroine, I can still enjoy playing the second heroine. Then, it became a hot search without a doubt. Originally, the second female lead in The Great Doctor was Xiao Lingyu, but who knew she would be snatched away by Xiao Ran? The motives behind this are not difficult to guess. Xiao Ran just wanted to be on the same stage with Xia Ying, and wanted to compete with her everywhere. She didn't believe that her acting skills would be inferior to Xia Ying's. Moreover, sometimes, the vicious second female lead can perform well and please the audience more than the female lead. What Xiao Ran wants is to use his acting skills to steal all the limelight from Xia Ying when the movie is broadcast. Also, the second female lead bullied the female lead miserably before she turned dark. Xiao Ran liked the scene very much. However, Xiao Ran herself did not expect that because of this Weibo, the dispute between her and Xia Ying had already begun. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1053. Chapter 1053, The Enemy Cannot Move, I Cannot Move. Xiao Ran has been starring in leading female roles since her debut. The roles she took later, the series that is currently being filmed and has not yet started filming, are all female leads. She has never played a supporting female role, and this time, Xiao Ran suddenly plays the heroine. The most popular Hua Dan in the entertainment industry now plays the supporting role for Xia Ying, a singer-turned-actress. All the fans of Xiao Ran's family jumped out and complained about their idol, feeling that their idol had been greatly wronged. Why should our Xiao Ran be the female supporting role for Xia Ying? Don't you think it's unfair? Xiao Ran's acting skills are obvious to all. Xia Ying is just a singer. How can she compare with us, Xiao Ran? I can only say that the other party has a strong background. After all, she is the little princess of the imperial capital and the head of the four major families. If she wants to play a role, how can the little fairy Xiao Ran win over her? Many people said before that Xiao Ran was more suitable for the heroine, and then the official released the stills immediately. Who would believe that the two are not related? Anyway, I think Xiao Ran is more suitable for the heroine role than she is. Isn't it true that some people's fans are too much? The heroine is chosen by netizens. If you have the ability, why didn't you vote for yours in the first place? This is funny. Could it be that our goddess Xia Ying forced you, Xiao Ran, to play this female supporting role? Why do you pour dirty water on our goddess Xia Ying? Goddess Xia Ying? Please, can your village only have access to the internet? This year's national goddess is obviously our Xiao Ran, okay. Go to the rankings and see for yourself, where have all your so-called goddesses fallen? Can they be beaten by our Xiao Ran? Holy shit, this fan of Xiamenjian is too stupid, isn't it? How can one Weibo make their fans quarrel? Mu Niankai likes to read gossip. She is also the first person in Xia Ying's dormitory to know what's happening on Weibo. After eating the melon, Mu Niankai couldn't help but spat at Xiao Ran and her stupid fans, and then talked about it in their WeChat group. Yeziaksun, I have also seen that Xiao Ran's fans are like cultists, biting anyone they catch. They really have no brains at all. Tanguo also climbed up and said, what should I do? I see that they are scolding more and more harshly. Mu Niankai asks Xia Ying, what are you planning to do? Xia Ying glanced at what Mu Niankai was sorting out in the WeChat group, and then replied, never mind, it was the other party's fans who picked the matter, and the other party didn't make any move, so what am I going to say? Tanguo, that's true, but Xiao Ran's fans are so powerful, compared with them, Xia Ying's fans are much more qualified. Mu Niankai, /vomit/, after all, do fans follow their masters? Xiao Ran's fans are not very old, they are all primary school students with too little homework. When they scold people, all kinds of people with their parents and their reproductive organs are simply terrible. Yeziaksun likes Xia Ying, do you need me to say anything? Xia Ying typed a reply, no need, the enemy won't move, I won't move. After Xia Ying sent the message, she put her phone aside and ignored it. Yu Lingfeng held a book and walked towards Xia Ying. He just listened to what 11 Ju told him, so he also knew what happened on the internet. Yu Lingfeng came out of the study to see how Xia Ying was doing at the moment. Yu Lingfeng put the book on the coffee table, then walked to Xia Ying and sat down. 11 Ju told me about the things on the internet. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1054. Chapter 1054. Jun Chennai Disa Xiao Ran under his real name. It's boring to see what those things do, it's not nutritious. Xia Ying shrugged, as if her mood was not guided by the inexplicable public opinions on the internet. Xia Ying had had enough of being a keyboard warrior in her previous life. When she was framed and ridiculed by the entire internet, she had already survived those days. So now, to her, these are just meaningless little fights, and she doesn't want to pay attention to them at all. Xia Ying stood up and walked towards her room. Yu Lingfeng got up and followed Xia Ying. What are you going to do? Instead of reading these boring quarrels on Weibo, I might as well spend some time writing songs. I haven't released a new song for a long time, and fans are urging me to do it every day, so I feel embarrassed. Xia Ying's tone was full of relaxation, and she even turned around and smiled happily at Yu Lingfeng. Yu Lingfeng was instantly infected by Xia Ying's warm smile. Since Xia Ying doesn't care about this, there is no need for him to look. Because, he originally didn't think it was interesting. Some time ago, Xiaoran tried to suppress female stars in various ways in order to gain her own popularity. Now, it is actually Xia Ying's turn. Xia Ying's fans have always been Buddhist-minded. Because Xia Ying does not join the entertainment industry, they do not participate in the disputes in the entertainment industry. However, they did not expect that just like this, they could be pulled out and stepped on. Xiaoran is naturally very satisfied with the current situation. When the hype is almost over, she will speak out on Weibo again and apologize hypocritically. The popularity was there, the sympathy was gained, and the fans on the other side didn't have anything good to say. Everything is under Xiaoran's careful calculation. She was very satisfied. Who knows, just when Xiaoran's wishful thinking came into effect. Jun Chennai posted on Weibo, as the male protagonist, I didn't say anything, but the directors have already made arrangements. Who has better acting skills will be revealed when the movie comes out. In addition, the real heroine didn't say a word from the beginning to the end, but the fake heroine has already started to attract fans to gain a sense of presence. Let me pick one thing first. When the heat is almost over, I will definitely apologize again. The dirty water belongs to the other party. I am a pure and innocent little lotus flower. Well, strength is the best. Finally, I feel sorry for Xiao Lingyu, the second female lead who worked so hard. Jun Chennai relied on his popularity and many fans, and he was always the one who dared to tell the truth, so everyone believed the information he broke. To say the least, even if it was false, but because Jun Chennai said it, and it will become true. Jun Chennai dissed Xiaoran's popularity by dissing her in real name, and also hinted that Xiaoran's second female lead was snatched from someone else, and that Xia Ying was also innocent. This Weibo post revealed a lot of shocking news, and the melon-eating crowd immediately rushed over. No matter how scary and idiotic Xiaoran's fan group is, the other party is Jun Chennai, the ones who shouted insults before. At this moment, it was as quiet as a chicken, and there was no sound at all. You can mess with anyone in the entertainment industry, but you can't mess with Jun Chennai. This is a well-known unspoken rule in the entertainment industry. Jun Chennai left the stage in person, and Xia Ying's fans seemed to be fueled, and they immediately became full of fire. Coupled with the friendly support from Jun Chennai's fans, the fans of Xiaoran's family were suddenly speechless. Xiaoran was so angry that he smashed his cell phone. This Jun Chennai and Xia Ying are both Yu Lingfeng's people, so why are they so protective of her? It's all his fault. Ruined her plan. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1055. Chapter 1055. Sincerity. Yu Lingfeng sat on the sofa, crossing her legs gracefully and elegantly, sliding her fair and slender index finger on the screen of her phone, her eyes firmly fixed on the Weibo post that Jun Chennai had just posted. This Jun Chennai, whenever it involves Xia Ying, he must be the first to jump out. In the past, Jun Chennai never participated in disputes in the entertainment industry. He doesn't pay attention to this kind of operation and marketing stuff, it has nothing to do with him anyway, but now because of Xia Ying, he has personally been killed countless times, just to protect Xia Ying. Yu Lingfeng's beautiful eyebrows were furrowed, and her eyes were as deep as black glass. The moment she lowered her eyes, she hid all the thoughts in her heart. Xiaoran was so angry that he came out to apologize. She said that it was an unintentional move and she did not expect that it would cause misunderstanding. As for the role of the second female lead, it was arranged by the director and the producer, and she was not snatched from it. In short, she molded herself into an innocent lotus flower, as if she was being bullied by Jun Chennai. Although Xiaoran's fans feel that their idol is wronged, they have no choice but to endure it now. Who can let the other party have the almighty Jun Chennai to back him up? At night, Xia Ying, who has always been silent about this farce, posted a Weibo post about her new song, with the following comment: the last song before entering the set, I hope you all like it. This song by Xia Ying is called Sincerity. As if to insinuate something, many people also turned on Sherlock Holmes mode, feeling that Xia Ying was alluding to Xia Ran's hype, saying that she was not sincere, etc. However, Xia Ying did not respond to a series of speculations in the comment area. Throughout the whole process, there was no explanation for why he was hacked during the day. Xia Ying added improvised rap elements to this song, and this section immediately became famous on the internet. Xia Ying's tone is very malleable and she can control any genre of music. Unexpectedly, Xia Ying's rapping is also impressive. Many netizens have started to worship. Ying, have never been in the circle, just pay attention to the works. Thank you. No matter what happens in the future, please don't take me to Sakura. Thank you. In addition, to popularize science, when Xia Ying appeared in The Great Doctor, it was also because of the strong request of fans and the original author. They didn't care about the heroine at all. Thank you. Compared to the shrewishness of Xia Ran's fans, Xia Ying's fans are much more civilized. It didn't take long for Xia Ying's fans are polite to be a hot search on Weibo. Xia Ying glanced lightly, and then sent a WeChat message to Jun Chennai. Thank you. Jun Chennai had just come out of the shower. He saw his phone light up and looked at it. It was from Xia Ying. Open it with a little excitement, then close it with peace of mind. Now, their relationship has long been one of thank you and you're welcome. Jun Chennai still typed slowly, you're welcome. Then he sent it without even looking at it again, then turned off his phone and walked towards his bedroom. At this moment, Xia Ran is still sulking at home. Today, she worked hard just to put Xia Ying on the top trending search. And she really knows how to find time to release new songs, and when she doesn't, it happens to be at this time. Also, does she really think she is stupid? Which sentence in the new song is not a metaphor for showing off? Damn Xia Ying. Breaking news, please give me a monthly ticket. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1056. Chapter 1056. I want to wait for Xiajun. At this time, Qiaonan called Xia Ran. If you are not 100% sure about something, don't come out and embarrass yourself. You clearly know that there are so many people around Xia Ying to help her. What capital and resources do you have? Is she arrogant? It's just a small accident. I, Xia Ran, have my own reasons for doing things. If you don't like it, I won't change it. Xia Ran finished the call with a cold face and then hung up. At this time, Xia Ran received another message from Hami Melon. It was found out that the author Yi Sun is the Yeziaksun next to Xia Ying. Xia Ran's pupils dilated and he was stunned for a long time. What? Yi Sun, the most popular female video author on the internet today, is actually the unknown Yeziaksun. That Yeziaksun whose face would be lost if he was thrown into the crowd, whose face is hard to remember even after watching it several times. Xia Ran was a little unbelievable. Today, the original author Yi Sun came out to defend Xia Ying, which made Xia Ran very unhappy. Moreover, Xia Ran also discovered that Yi Sun often liked Xia Ying's Weibo, and this was not the first time he spoke for Xia Ying. So she wanted Hamagiwa to investigate who Yi Sun was. Unexpectedly, this investigation turned out to be the soft-spoken Yeziaksun next to Xia Ying. This is really interesting, and it's getting more and more fun. Xia Ran called Hamagiwa again. Hami Melon, I want all the information about Yeziaksun, her family situation, everything you can get, send it to me. New. Hami Melon never asked why. Anyway, when they do things, they never consider why. In just a few moments, Xia Ran received everything she wanted. Xiao Ran looked at the information, raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and muttered, Ye Xiaoxun's parents were originally simple migrant workers. But after Ye Xiaoxun became rich, his father got into the bad habit of gambling. Although the gambling was not big, gambling addiction will grow slowly. Xiao Ran sent the exact same message to several more people, and arranged everything in his mind. She wanted to see how long Xia Ying's Ye Xiaoxun could continue to be arrogant. Those who go against her, Xiao Ran, will not end well. Chu Shenxiu and Chu Shengming went to country s. Chu Shenxiu had a dark face in the days before leaving. When leaving, she also held onto Xia Ying's sleeve tightly. There were still wet tears in his eyes, and he didn't want to leave. Chu Shengming glanced at Chu Shenxiu with disgust, tugged on his sleeve, and said with a cold face, 13, let go. I don't want to leave cousin Sakura. I don't want to go to country s to meet that little princess. Chu Shengming put his fist to his lips and coughed twice, you can't hide. Where is Xiajun? He promised to come and see me off, I have to wait for him to come. Chu Shenxiu can now delay for 1 second. At least, he will feel better. He said he would try his best to catch up, but he might not be able to catch up. Xia Ying glanced at her watch and urged, it's time for you to board the plane. No, I want to wait for Xiajun. Chu Shenxiu stared straight in the direction of the airport entrance, and then his eyes lit up, he saw Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai is so eye-catching, he is the most recognizable among the crowd. Why? Next to Jun Chenai, there seemed to be a girl wearing Lolita. Chu Shenxiu wiped his eyes, oh, so touched, the little candy is here too. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1057. Chapter 1057. Your boy is very lucky. Chu Shengming followed Chu Shenxiu's gaze and saw Jun Chenai and Tang Guo beside him. Tang Guo noticed that Chu Shengming was looking at her. Her fair and delicate face was gradually stained with a hint of crimson. She heard from Xia Ying that Chu Shengming would leave today and thought about it for a long time at home. She tossed and turned and couldn't sleep last night. Today she has been staring at the clock on the wall, planning Chu Shengming's boarding time. Finally, she mustered up the courage to see him off, because Xia Ying said that it would take more than half a year for Chu Shengming to come back to China, which meant that it would take her more than half a year. At that time, Chu Shengming could no longer be seen. Tang Guo gritted her teeth and no longer cared about being shameless. She wanted to take one last look at Chu Shengming. Unexpectedly, as soon as Tang Guo arrived at the airport gate, he met Jun Chenai, who also came to see him off. Jun Chenai saw her, still at the stage where Tang Guo liked Chu Shenxiu, so he asked, are you also here to see Chu Shenxiu off? Tang Guo was stunned for a moment, but finally nodded, whether it was for Chu Shenxiu or Chu Shengming, it was the same, right? Now they are together. So Tang Guo didn't explain much and entered the airport with Jun Chenai. Jun Chenai and Tang Guo walked up to the crowd. Jun Chenai looked at Chu Shenxiu with a wicked smile, then patted him on the shoulder, put one hand around Chu Shenxiu, and joked, isn't your kid so handsome, Jian, such a cute little girl is here to see you off? Do you still need a rough man like me? Tang Guo opened her mouth, trying to explain something, but then Chu Shenxiu added, little Candy and I are good friends, so don't make fun of others. Tang Guo then fell silent and didn't say much. Just when he lowered his head, he quietly looked at Chu Shengming with his peripheral vision. What should I do? Every time she sees Chu Shengming, her heartbeat becomes irregular. Chu Shengming was very calm. From time to time, he reminded Jun Chenai and Chu Shenxiu, who were chatting and laughing at the side, pay attention to the time, we are about to board the plane. Tang Guo tightened her skirt tightly and put one hand in her pocket, as if she was holding something, but she never took it out. Xia Ying saw Tang Guo's little move, So she walked to Tanguoer and whispered in a voice that only the two of them could hear, "Little Candy, if you have prepared any gifts, give them to her right away. It's time to board the plane, it's too late." Tanguoer suppressed her blush and bit her lower lip tightly, not knowing how to speak. At this time, the radio started urging people to board the plane. Chu Sensio and Chu Shengming also picked up their luggage and were ready to leave. Xia Ying pushed Tanguoer in front of Chu Shengming. Chu Shengming felt the sudden light and shadow, raised his head, and met the crimson girl's face. Chu Shengming's eyebrows wrinkled slightly, and for the first time in his life, his heartbeat skipped a beat. It turns out that girls are so beautiful when they are shy. A pair of black glass eyes were shining brightly, and the small red lips were pursed tightly, hiding all the girl's thoughts. "What's up?" Chu Shengming came over for a moment before asking questions. Tanguoer opened her mouth, but found that she couldn't even pronounce a syllable. Tanguoer had no choice but to quickly take out the contents of his pocket and stuff them into Chu Shengming's coat pocket. The speed was so fast that no one else present could see clearly what it was. It was just faint, and seemed to be a red object. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1058. Chapter 1058, Killing a Brother for His Friend. After Tanguoer delivered the gift, she quickly turned around and hid behind Xia Ying without saying anything. Xia Ying twitched her lips. She had seen innocent girls, but never one as innocent as Tanguoer. Tanguoer would blush every time he saw Chu Shengming, and he would not be able to say a few words. Because let alone talking, Tanguoer had to muster a lot of courage to even look directly at Chu Shengming. It is really a very innocent first love. Xia Ying lowered her head and smiled softly. Chu Sensio and Chu Shengming left side by side. Chu Sensio came close to Chu Shengming, raised his eyes, and wanted to reach out for the gift in Chu Shengming's pocket. However, before he could put his dog's paws in, Chu Shengming calmly stopped him. It was aborted, but during the whole process, Chu Shengming did not look at Chu Sensio, and he looked like he was solving the problem incidentally. "Oh, brother, why are you so stingy? Can't you let me see what gift little Candy gave me?" "Boring." Chu Shengming's tone was calm and cold, interrupting all Chu Sensio's fantasies. Chu Sensio rolled his eyes, spread his hands and said, "Brother, you are so stingy." Chu Shengming didn't answer, looking straight ahead without any interruption from Chu Sensio next to him. "Hey, brother, do you like small candies or not?" Chu Sensio's words made Chu Shengming's eyes move. The subtle changes were difficult to detect. "My little Candy treats you so well. If you don't like her, tell her earlier and don't delay her." Chu Sensio was chanting the sutra, and Chu Shengming turned away and looked at him. "I have already made it clear what I need to say." Chu Sensio was stunned, not understanding what Chu Shengming's words meant. His brother always doesn't like to explain a sentence clearly, and always requires others to put effort into elaboration. Perhaps this is genius. Chu Sensio thought this and said to himself, "Actually, I think little Candy is quite good. People like you, brother, probably don't understand the relationship between men and women. You must think that falling in love is a waste of time. So, let me help you analyze it from a scientific perspective. It's good to marry a soft girl who likes you and doesn't talk much, and it won't hinder your life." Chu Shengming stared at Chu Sensio coldly, interrupting his eloquent words, "Since you have thought so well, why don't you marry yourself?" Chu Sensio spread his hands, "Then people must like me. If little Candy likes me, I will definitely accept her. How do I remember that some people asked me to help them go on a date?" Chu Shengming said slowly and leisurely. "Actually, if it hadn't been for that incident, there wouldn't have been so many things later. In the final analysis, the relationship between him and Tanguoer was maintained by this guy Chu Sensio." Chu Sensio stuck out his tongue and said angrily, I was young and ignorant at the time, and it's too late to regret it now. Chu Shenming snorted softly, I'm afraid you wouldn't know how serious the matter is until it gets to you. Chu Shenming felt that Chu Shenxiu's behavior was purely a betrayal. The reason why he persuaded him to accept Tang Guo'er was simply because Tang Guo'er was now his good friend. He had stabbed his own brother for the sake of his friend. You really have raised a good brother. Chu Shenming thought this way and gave Chu Shenxiu a meaningful look. Chu Shenxiu was so stared at by Chu Shenming that he broke into cold sweat. Why does his brother's eyes look so weird, as if he wants to eat someone? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1059. Chapter 1059 Annual Ceremony. At night, on the plain, Chu Shenxiu fell asleep. Chu Shenming squinted for a while, woke up in the middle of the night, suddenly thought of something, then reached into his pocket and took out a red amulet. Chu Shenming's first reaction when he saw this bright red amulet was to chuckle softly. In this day and age, there are still people giving amulets. He did not expect that a two-dimensional girl like Tang Guo'er could actually be a Buddhist believer. Chu Shenming's eyes drooped, he put the amulet back into his pocket, then closed his eyes and fell asleep. On the way, Xia Ying walked up to Tang Guo'er curiously and asked with a smile, "Little Candy, what gift did you give my 12th cousin?" Tang Guo'er smiled lowly, "It's an amulet. My mother took me to the temple some time ago, and I asked for it for Chu Shenming. It is said to be very effective, so I gave it to Chu Shenming." Xia Ying said a long "oh," her tone was tactful, and she deliberately prolonged the tone. Tang Guo'er buried her head lower in the ground, her face flushed with sunset. "Then when you went to the temple, did you ask about your marriage?" "Hate it, Xia Ying, you just make fun of me." Tang Guo'er slapped Xia Ying and said angrily. "Ha ha ha." Xia Ying laughed so happily that her stomach hurt from laughing. Tang Guo'er thought about what happened that day. Well, she admitted that she did ask, but she seemed to have drawn a not-so-good lottery. The general meaning was that she had a rough love life, and she had to go through it if she wanted to be happy. Many tests, if you can persevere, you will succeed. If you can't, you will naturally give up without success. Tang Guo'er sighed and looked at Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng, who had a very good relationship and were close to each other. She really envies the relationship between Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng. When will she get her own happiness? The annual gala party has begun, and celebrities and artists from all walks of life will come to participate. This is considered an annual event in the entertainment industry, and many lists will be announced tonight. As for the most anticipated lists of national male gods and national goddesses, voting will end before 12 o'clock tonight. After that, the list of the most valuable national male gods and national goddesses will be announced. National goddess and national goddess are the highest honors for actors and actresses, and are a symbol of national recognition and popularity. The reason why they are changed every year is because the entertainment industry changes a lot, and there are different representatives of popularity every year. Of course, national goddess the list has not changed for 7 years. Because of Jun Chennai, he has always been the national male idol. Jun Chennai debuted as a child actor and grew from a child actor that everyone liked to a national idol, not only because he is good looking, but also because he works hard enough and is indeed a malleable talent. He deserves such an honor. As for this year's list, Jun Chennai will undoubtedly be the first choice for the national male god. He received more votes than the second and third places combined, making it almost impossible to be surpassed. As for the list of national goddesses, the difference in votes between Xia Ran and Xia Ying, currently number 1, seems to be an insurmountable gap. After all, the voting ended within a few hours of Huiyu, and Xiao Ran was already in the lead. After more than half a month, Xia Ying still really couldn't catch up. Xiao Ran was naturally very proud. She had easily snatched away the national goddess who originally belonged to Xia Ying. It seemed that Xia Ying's popularity was not that good either. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1060. Chapter 1060. The best female singer is still very stable. Xia Ying and her company's artists are on their way to the grand ceremony. This annual grand ceremony is broadcast live on all platforms and is an entertainment industry event that almost everyone will pay attention to. Xia Ying wore a bright red evening dress today, and her makeup was extremely delicate and beautiful. Qianyins kept praising, "Boss, the way you are dressed today is really brand new. You can't tell that you are dressed like an ordinary schoolgirl. If you are going to walk on the red carpet like this, why do you still need those female celebrities? Live. It's completely overwhelming. It's not at the same level." Xia Ying usually takes time out from school when she comes to the company, so she is very casual and casual every time. She wears light makeup and looks like a very pure female college student. In that kind of school, there is a school goddess who is secretly loved by many people. However, Xia Ying changed her usual dress today and suddenly wore such heavy makeup, which was extremely enviable. Beauty is indeed beautiful no matter how hard it is. Beauty with 1,000 faces probably refers to people like Xia Ying. It's rare that you have a sweet mouth today. Xia Ying smiled. The boss has a good foundation, otherwise you think the most beautiful child stars and the national goddesses in the past 2 years were selected for nothing. Liangya added. Ahem. Don't talk about the goddess. That Xiao Ran is so scheming, but she can still be the first. It's uncomfortable to see her. Let me tell you, she is the dark messenger who hides the most deeply. Xia Ying listened well to the first half of the sentence, but then a child of light suddenly came, and Xia Ying was immediately stunned. Xia Ying turned her head sharply and glared at Qianyins angrily. You guy, so when you said I was the messenger of darkness before, you also thought I was scheming and a bad person. Qianyins was startled. Then he realized that he had spoken too quickly and missed something. So he quickly covered his mouth, widened his eyes, and explained, I didn't say anything. Qianyins, next year your punishment will be changed to restrict you from meeting 11 Ju. If you make a mistake once, you will not be allowed to meet with 11 Ju for 1 day, and it will be accumulated according to the degree of the mistake. Xia Ying said sharply. At this time, the people in the car couldn't help but cover their mouths and snickered. This Qianyins, on such a happy day, had to do something like this. Now it's better, he was punished again. Qianyins looked at Xia Ying aggrievedly. No, that was because I was young and ignorant at the time, and the people I met when I was young who could use the dark holy beasts were all bad people. The dark holy beast in Qianyin's mouth refers to the goo worm. Xia Ying didn't listen to his excuse and was so angry that she didn't even bother to look at him. Well, let's talk about it first. How do you determine the extent of the mistake? For example, this time, you won't be able to see 11 Ju for a week. After hearing this, Qianyins immediately fell back, pretended to be dead, and then raised his hands and shouted, Isn't it terrible? Can you be more tolerant? 2 weeks. I didn't say anything, the boss is wise. Qianyin saw that something was wrong and quickly straightened up. Looking at Xia Ying sternly, the boss is wise and powerful. Xia Ying snorted lightly and ignored him. When everyone had laughed enough, Sister Wan held up her notebook and analyzed, according to my calculations, although Xia Ying can't win the national goddess, she is still very safe for the best female singer. End of this chapter.